We're diving into some of the densest scholarship out there, all focused on just the first two verses of Genesis.
Right, Genesis 1.1 and 1.2, the kingdom prologue.
The research is just immense, but our mission today is to pull out the core revolutionary claims and do it fast.
Exactly. We're extracting the foundational theology here, how it establishes God's absolute sovereignty, what it says about chaos and order.
And why it was such a radical departure from everything else in the ancient world.
A total counter-narrative.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with that initial state described in verse 2. The earth was formless and empty.
Tohu wabohu.
Yes, that exact phrase. What does the scholarship say it actually communicates?
Well, it's a fundamental insight. Tohu wabohu doesn't mean destructive failure. It's not something broken.
So it's not a negative state.
No, not at all. It signifies unfulfilled potential. Think of it as raw, unstructured material just waiting to be organized.
And the 6 days of creation are the answer to that.
A systematic answer. Days 1 through 3 are all about forming, giving it structure.
And then days 4 through 6 are about filling those structures.
Exactly. It's an elegant solution to those two specific deficits.
And right in the middle of that initial chaos is the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, hovering. Is this more than just, a metaphor for wind?
Oh, absolutely. The specific Hebrew verb used there, mereshef, is vital.
What does it imply?
It conveys the deliberate protective motion of a living agent. The classic image is an eagle brooding over its young.
So it's active. Intentional.
It's the critical hinge. The Spirit connects God's transcendent power to the actual hands-on process of bringing order.
That idea of effortless, organized creation, it just seems so different. How radical was this compared to the myths of, say, Mesopotamia?
It's what scholars call a polemical dismissal, a direct, powerful rejection of every surrounding culture's story.
How so?
In myths like the Enuma Elish, creation is violent. It requires a divine battle, the chaos scamp, where a god has to fight and kill a chaos deity to create.
Right, a struggle against the abyss.
But in Genesis, God, Elohim, simply speaks and creates. The deep, the tehom, it's just a passive feature of the landscape. No battle needed.
So that simple declaration of God created is itself a theological power move.
It establishes monotheistic supremacy, instantly.
The source material also brings up this idea of functional ontology. Am I getting this right? That the focus is more on establishing function than on the physical material itself.
That's a great way to put it. The priority is function. The account is establishing the order that's necessary for a relationship to exist.
So the cosmos becomes a kind of sacred space.
Precisely, a temple where God will dwell and rest.
Okay, let's pivot back to verse 1 then. In the beginning, how on earth do those three words suddenly align with modern cosmology?
The alignment is, well, it's striking. That phrase, in the beginning, supports what modern science has concluded.
That the universe isn't eternal.
Right. It had an absolute beginning, the Big Bang.
And the implication there is just massive. If the universe had a start, it is a cause that exists outside of space and time.
A cause that is non-physical and non-temporal. A creator. It points directly to that transcendent aspect.
And this is where the fine-tuning argument comes in.
Exactly. The research highlights how the fundamental constants of physics are exquisitely balanced for life. It's so precise.
It suggests intention.
It points compellingly toward a super-calculating designer who chose stable, elegant order from the very beginning.
So bringing this all home, what does this mean for you, the listener? Genesis 1.1 to 2 sets up this blueprint.
The ultimate blueprint. The transformation from universal chaos to a structured, purposeful cosmos.
And that blueprint has a deeper meaning.
It reveals that creation is fundamentally an act of lavish love. The very intention to organize the tohu wabohu is an act of assurance.
The assurance being that the same God can bring order to our own lives.
If he can effortlessly impose order on primordial chaos, he is certainly able to transform personal disorder and spiritual emptiness.
That's a profound thought to end on.
It is. The God who created the heavens and the earth can also make you new, for he did not begin with perfection.
He began with chaos.
He began by transforming the formless and empty abyss into a covenant home, showing that no state of personal disorder is beyond the sovereign organizing power of his Spirit.